Good morning. We are going to wind up the letter in the next 2 days here. 1 Peter 5, verse 12. By Silvanus, these are just the final greetings. By Silvanus, a faithful brother as I regard him, I have written briefly to you, exhorting and declaring that this is the true grace of God. Stand firm in it. So, Peter here highlights that Silvanus is one who carries the letter most likely. So in the ancient world, obviously they didn't have quite the postal service that we have now. And so they would send a letter by means of a trusted servant or a trusted friend, trusted companion. Peter sends this letter to those of the dispersion, as he addressed them at the very beginning, scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, and Bithynia. And he sends Silvanus. Who is Silvanus? Well, Silvanus is the same person known as Silas in the book of Acts, the one that ended up becoming a companion to Paul after Barnabas and Paul split. That Silas is the same Silvanus here who is carrying the letter. And he is one who is carrying a letter written by Peter. It's not that Silas was the secretary per se, it's that he's the messenger. He carries the letter, and he is exhorting them finally here to take this letter. They would likely read it aloud in the church, and they were to stand firm in it. Verse 13 says, "She who is at Babylon, who is likewise chosen, sends you greetings, and so does Mark, my son." So we have another character here, Mark, which of course the author of the gospel, and this is one of the reasons why it's often thought of that Peter is the oral source for much of, or a portion of, Mark's gospel as well. There's a clear relationship and connection between Peter and Mark. So you can see that Peter trafficked in some of the similar circles that Paul did. She who is at Babylon is not a reference to historic Babylon. Rather, it's a reference to Babylon that is a way of referring to Rome. Now remember, and I'll leave you with this thought, they are exiles. He's writing to exiles. The clear power structure in the ancient world of in Israel's time, especially in the latter portion of the prophets, was historic Babylon. In the Middle East, modern-day Iraq, that area. In Peter's time, the power structure that the church is dealing with, that typifies the world, just like Babylon typified the world there, that typifies the world is Rome. And he's using an allusion. Here, the people of God, right? The people of God in the Old Testament dealt with Babylon. Now the people of God in the New Testament are dealing with Rome, and he uses the term Babylon to refer to them. Yet another reminder that we live over against the culture of the world. So by way of a devotional thought today, I'll just leave you with this. That phrase, that declaring that this is the true grace of God, stand firm in it. Peter says, take this letter and use it to help you stand. So my encouragement to you is, as we have reflected over all of these lessons, all of these thoughts for the day, about what it means to live as an exile, to suffer as an exile, to be sanctified as an exile, to be a leader in the midst of exile, to be a husband or a wife in the midst of exile, so on and so forth. Stand firm. Use the letter as a tool to help you stand. May the Lord bless you today.